more and more men are single. I think in the US it's something like 60% for men under 30 years old. And I don't even know how much it is for the Japanese and the Korean guys, where they're having less and less kids and everything. I wanted to talk about this topic today, partly because of some of the comments that I got in my video where I talked about men giving up on relationships and giving up on women. You know, I have massive respect for all the guys who say that they have been married, but then they have gotten divorced and they never want to get married again. They never want to have anything to do with women again. I think it makes complete sense, and I would probably do the same. If I get married and I get divorced, I'm probably not gonna do it again, ever. So I respect all those guys who say that they don't want to have anything to do with women anymore. They just want to live their lives peacefully. And I want to just make sure you guys understand that I actually also am a man who went his own way. I moved to this place in the countryside, into the house in the countryside, alone. And this is the funny story. When I moved to this place, I mean, absolutely everyone was asking me and acting all confused. You're moving to the countryside, into a house, alone? Like, it was so, like, people couldn't comprehend that a guy would move into the countryside, into the middle of nowhere, without having a woman, having a girlfriend or a wife. And to me that's funny because it was like the most obvious thing for me to do. Look, dude, I was about to turn 30 years old. And I was born and raised in the countryside, so I always wanted to move back to the countryside from the city. And so why would I wait? Like, it made absolutely zero sense to me to think that way. I cannot understand why people think that you can't advance in your life and make your dreams realities without having a girlfriend or a wife. I guess that just shows, you know, I kind of understand the old people because they are so used to that kind of worldview. But even some younger people were confused and were asking me, like, are you moving alone? But in any case, the irony here is that I found a good woman into my life because I went my own way, because I didn't care too much, I didn't try too much. Sure, I was still on dating apps on and off in my single years, but all my experiences were awful and I didn't make it a priority. I mean, that's why I was single for so long, because I did not make it a priority. I cared way more about all the other things in my life than finding someone. And you know, even my girlfriend has told me this. She said, if I did not have my house, if I did not live an independent life as an individual in the countryside, she would not have been as impressed. So it's kind of ironic that I went my own way, and that's why I found a good woman. And that is why I want to address guys out there who are going their own way, who are giving up on women. And maybe you're not giving up on women, maybe you're just focusing on yourself. The comments I got, like I said, there were a bunch of comments that I could respect, that made sense to me. But then I had some of the most outrageously stupid and idiotic comments ever, which were these people who have had negative experiences with women, who have gotten burned, as they say. And they claim that all women, literally all women, are evil or terrible or bad. And, you know, I would laugh at these guys if it wasn't so sad, but because it is so sad, it makes me more sad than it makes me amused. When I see a guy who claims you are just not old enough to understand that all women are terrible, or you just have not seen the truth about the true nature of women, which is, you know, evil. these guys are a lost cause, and there's nothing we can do. There's nothing anyone can do to help them. And one comment even said that it's terrible advice to tell guys to stay in the game. And I I don't respond to these comments because I don't want to give them the time and attention, and it's pointless to have a conversation in the text format with guys who don't show their face or name or anything like that. So I don't want to waste my time responding to those comments in the comment section, but I do respond on videos like this then later on. And I paid attention in this particular comment to the word game, because if you think, like, I've never been in any game. If you say that it's terrible advice to stay in the game, then that's not even the advice I've ever given. So I don't know what video you have been watching or listening to. Because the thing is, what I say and what I tried to say in that video in particular was that you should keep your mind and heart open, because people are people. If you want to have good connections and good experiences in this life, then you shouldn't be a closed off asshole. And if you think that finding a good woman who just happens to be a good person, that's the thing. This is my anecdotal experience that I'm sharing, that I found a good person who happens to be a woman. So I'm attracted to her and she's attracted to me, and she's feminine, and therefore she behaves a little bit differently and experiences things differently than guys do. But other than that, my whole point is you shouldn't go too deep and too far into this men going their own way stuff, so much so that you become misogynistic, because that's not the point. I remember I used to watch the guy Better Bachelor. I think he's a great channel. A few years ago when I watched him, he even said that he doesn't want to get committed to women ever again, and doesn't want to prioritize women ever again. But he didn't say that he's never gonna hang around with any woman if he meets a hot woman in the real life. Back then, at least, he didn't say that. So there's a difference between saying that your experience has been shit and you are gonna check out completely. That's completely understandable and respectable. But if you say that no one should keep their hearts and minds open, no one should give women and relationships a chance ever again in their lives, just because you had a negative experience, then you're doing it wrong. That's not what it's about, to go your own way. Going your own way is living your life, and sometimes it means that you isolate yourself in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the woods, and you never meet anyone. I happened to meet someone through my friends, and that someone happened to be a good fucking woman. I still abide by some of the logic that you can see in men going their own way. Like, my priorities are still my priorities. Now I just share a lot of my experiences with that said woman. But I will say, as the last thing for this video, that for all the guys in their 20s, I think it's definitely a good idea to go your own way and maybe even completely check out of dating for a while at least. I took many massive breaks from, online dating apps and stuff like that. I was single for 9 years for that reason. And I can tell you this, if I tried to find a girlfriend in my 20s just for the sake of finding a girlfriend, knowing how I was and who I was in my 20s, I think there could have been this situation where I would have committed to a wrong person, and I would have even moved together with said wrong person, and I wouldn't have gotten my house and my home gym in the countryside. I wouldn't be living my dream because I would have sacrificed it for some kind of idealistic idea, fantasy. Because a lot of people, they fantasize about a relationship. They fantasize about sacrificing themselves for a guy or a girl. And that's a mistake. So I do agree with a lot of the men going their own way stuff. I do. There's a lot of good stuff there. But if you go too deep and you become some kind of woman-hating, miserable piece of shit, that's what I don't want happening to guys. That's why I make these videos where I say, yeah, keep your heart open and you might actually find a good person who just might happen to be a woman who you are attracted to and who is attracted to you. That's all for this video. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more on this same topic, because I'm not done talking about this topic. This is so fascinating to me. I love talking about this. I love reading the comments. I love thinking about where people go right and where people go wrong. So I'll definitely talk more on the same topic. So thank you for watching, and comment below what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.